What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 18 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tic-Tac-Toe Immortal Empires Expanded campaign. So as we saw last time, the Mine of the Bearded Skulls is the last place of the last territory of the deserters of Kotep, who once again, in a second attempt, have failed to attack and destroy Shotel. Otherwise, we have tried the Behalis unit, as well as our first experience with the Ceropods, as she giggle. But we want these guys to be riders, so they're going to be functioning a little bit differently once they're in that sort of position. Actually, speaking of riders and such, I did say Tyrannicon was going to go for the Parasaur riders, so Parasaur riding teams, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That was expensive. Well, not building many buildings this turn, but anyway. We'll see how these guys function. They apply lethal poison and appear to be a sort of skirmisher cab type unit, just by virtue of the fact that they've got run the heck away abilities. Though they are reasonably heavily armored as well, so we shall see how they function generally speaking. And yeah, Tyrannicon's going to be pretty cavalry-forward army, let's say. And we're going to get him Beast Tamer because of it, so we'll enjoy that. Otherwise, what do we have to do in this particular turn? I no longer remember. Oh, Tehenaman and Co. are kind of waiting to attack the Mine of the Bearded Skulls, and... actually, by the looks of it, we can end the turn. Not 100% sure on, but I guess if I forgot something last time, then I guess we'll have to find out the hard way. Let's see. Oh, you know what we should do? We should probably declare war on Rakarth immediately as well. Just in principle, just to have him be a war declaration. Where's he going? That's curious. But yeah, mainly because we'll want to attack the Golden Colossus and because we'll want to try to confederate Oshiotle. And this would be a nice time. And oh, these guys popped off the Sandstorm. Good for them. I mean, Digga's going to take damage, but Digga was already taking damage due to mountain attrition. Still, good for the good of the AI to do that. Hello, what do we have here? A Kieran, intervene. I don't really care about the 2,000 gold, but I do care about a very nice fight by the looks of it. 3 units of War Dancers, 4 units of Wild Riders. That alone is going to be very difficult to deal with here. Ooh, Kinquata Convoy. Now let's see if you can manage to survive this one. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Looks like this is going to be a pretty fun fight. The enemy, I mean, 4 Wild Riders and 3 War Dancers alone, not even considering any of the other troops, are a very strong pile of units, a strong damage-dealing core that we're going to have to be extremely wary of. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off with trying to allow our expedition chief to fire off a few blow darts at the enemy Spellweaver of Dark, but unfortunately, it looks like the enemy will charge towards us with those Wild Riders immediately, and we can't get a shot off on the Spellweaver. Of course, the expedition chief does knock out a single unit with every blow dart, but he doesn't have any penetrative capabilities on his attacks, and therefore, only 1 unit dies with every hit. So, now obviously, a single entity sniper killer that we want to use for that particular purpose. Oh well, the Wild Riders have first charged the Expedition Chief. Unfortunately, we were ready for that, keeping the stalking units of Chameleon Stalkers and the Uranon Serpent hovering nearby in order to immediately countercharge them and obliterate them, and doing the same thing on the other side with a summoned unit of Riperdactyls directly on top of them and support fire from the Chameleon Skinks and the Skink Oracle as well. With that done, we are going to start backing off. We are waiting with our heavier units, our Saurus and our Croxagors, up on the hills above. Although we could head down to the enemy, I just wanted to make sure that we closed the distance and destroyed those units of Wild Riders as fast as we can. The War Dancers are a completely different story. They're also quick and high damage dealing and have the exact same model numbers as the Wild Riders do, but the War Dancers are a lot less fragile than the War Dancers are. And while they also do plenty of heavy damage, the charge from the Wild Riders will do more damage, so And they're the critical target here. Anyway, making the enemy work for it as they attempt to run uphill, chasing our chameleon skinks and stalkers, and into the waiting spears and maces or mauls of those Croxagors and Saurus. There we go. The War Dancers have arrived, twin blades unfortunately for us rather than the Azrae spear, so they should be able to do plenty of damage to those Saurus. But at the same time, without the Wild Riders there to support them, and the enemy army is considerably weakened. Now, our chameleon stalkers have moved through our ranks of heavies and are now going to split back out to the sides and reflank the enemy wherever they can, while we continue getting support from the chameleon skinks up on the hill above, if they can actually fire down at the enemy below. Looks like a chill wind going to hit our units from that Sorceress of Dark. And that's why I wanted to have the Expedition Chief assassinate her, but now he's managed to peel away from the rest of his forces and will hopefully get a few blow dart hits in. There we go. By the looks of it, the fragile Spellweaver loses about a third of her HP whenever the, blow darts actually make contact. Alright. Our Skink Oracle still providing support as well. And we continue holding the enemy back even as we close the distance with our chameleon stalkers to once again charge the enemy. It does look like one of the War Dancers is we are forced to face off against, which have rapidly racked up 13,000 damage fighting our units and killing off a fair few skinks. But the others are at least pinned in place against the Saurus and the Croxagor combination, and thus get instead rear charged, which worked out a lot better, though admittedly forcing us to blob up a little bit and getting hit with another of those darn chill winds, but I think that was the last, as the Spellweaver has at last routed, and one more successful blow dart, will bring her down once she's no longer shielded by the, there we go, once she's no longer shielded by the routing Glade Riders. With that, with the death of the Spellweaver, the enemy army will break, and the battle will be ours. Beautiful. Certainly took a bit of effort, though. We did take some decent damage on a fair few units. So this unit of Source Spears got down to about 50% of their HP, despite the fact that they had elevation advantage and the hunger, together with charge reflection being spear units. But, War Dancers are extremely nasty, and you can build them to pretty insane levels if you're playing Wood Elves. I really enjoyed their army when I played Orion last. But anyway, a lovely little expedition fight. Actually, not so little expedition fight. Ooh, alrighty, there we go. Definitely a tough fight, and yeah, I guess with the final level of the specimen collection, you better come prepared, because you're going to run into some very tough forces. And on top of that, this location has that adversary guy, which means we're going to have to heal up, aren't we? I'll have to take the 3.6k, but you gotta do what you gotta do. A lovely little fight, and well done too. Out of the Croxagors, the Jaws of Victory, and as always, the Renan Serpent out of the named units in this particular army. Oh, and the Skywatchers. I forgot about the some of the chameleon skinks being named in the air. Anyway, kill an 8. Alrighty, and you've got a new tech available, and what the heck? Okay, creator, sequence of exploitation, diplomatic relations and income, and hello, more spawning sequence. Yes, please. Razor's sack. Oh. Sacking. Okay, I guess we could do that to chaos. It's kind of annoying, but gotta deal with it. Anyway, we will go for the sequence of prowess, just for the character experience gain per turn, although the upkeep reduction isn't too bad as well, considering Slan are pretty insanely expensive. Next, we are going to go ahead and declare war on these guys by asking the Bordello Errant to join on in the fun.
Speak quickly
and take their money. Alright, like so. And now that we're at war with Rakarth, what I would like to do is have the never-ending chasm. Oh! I did that specifically to get this guy to... But he's already got the Confederation. That's hilarious. Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. Okay, well, just out of curiosity, is anybody else willing to confederate, or is it just you? No, it's just you. Alright, that amused me tremendously. Yeah, confed a shield. And of course, the public order hit's gonna be big, but it is what it is. What do you have here? A couple of Saurus vets. Do we have... Oh, a Blessed by Itzel. Star Gift, yes. I know where you're going, and then you have Fleet-Footed, which is kind of terrible. Alright, so you can go. Assuming you don't have any items or ancillaries, no. You are going to the Fire Army. You got a long way to travel, bud. And then what do you have? You have a couple of Skink Chiefs, which does not surprise me whatsoever. Shiotlek has the golden blowpipe of Patuhi, and that's the only item he has. He's got piercing shots and hard to hit. Proud Warrior is a bit of a waste in his army. Yeah, should we reset him? I hate to reset these guys, but at the same time, we're gonna have to send the army somewhere. Also, what does he buff other than chameleon skinks? So, armor-piercing missile damage for all skink infantry. Oh, it actually includes the other skink infantry as well. Immunity to diplomatic penalties from trespassing, masterful ambush stance. What else do we have here? Chameleon skinks, chameleon or an attribute unspottable for stalkers. That's about the same. Anti-chaos, which is fine. Upkeep reduction for Troglodon, Coatl, and Skink Oracles. Well, we were going to put some Skink Oracles in an army. Huh, it also includes the Ornosaurus. All right. One of the new units, so we could pop into his army as well. And then reductions for Skinks. All right, we'll go Chameleon Skinks, some Oracles. Maybe we'll give him some Troglodons as well. We could do that Oracle that does the Troglodon Frenzy buff, in theory. And in practice. Alright, either way, you're gonna go in here. Oh, you already have an Oracle. That is Fearless. Wins a magic reduction for Harmonic Convergence. That's fine. I guess this is a special one since you have Lore Master, eh? Yeah. Alright, I guess we'll keep you then. Oracle of the Sacred Plaques. Speed plus 10% in the for all units and army is quite nice. The one I preferred would be the healer one, but that's okay. Anyway, what do we have? Okay, I'm looking at the wrong place. You want the Skink Chiefs. We have accurate, armor-piercing weapon damage, and speed. Minor Blessing of Chotek means you should probably be reset, because this is not super useful to us. Yeah, alright. We'll reset you. And then, what about you? What are you? You have Primal Vigor, the recovery, and you have Boost Income, but otherwise you're fine. Again, I'm not super... I don't really care about Primal Vigor, to be perfectly honest. So I think this guy we will just delete. We've got other Skink Chiefs around. Oh, since we got two of the accurate types, we can just give the other accurate one to... Okay, is that you? Yeah. I guess the only unfortunate thing about these guys is that the lethal poison would probably be better. Wait, let me just see something here. And we do have the Blessed Chameleon Skinks and the Blessed Chameleon Stalkers. Ooh, they'll make up a decent portion of this particular army. I may even just evolve the high-level ones. I know it's not, it's not lawful to evolve units to become blessed units, because blessed units are, you know, born, or spawned, I should say. But nonetheless, it feels appropriate. Oh, we got a couple of Feral Basties which you can evolve into something. Probably Basti with Revivs, but not for you, for another army. Either way, I think this means that we will want to... Huh? Is Oshiotl not resettable? Cannot reset all skill points, the swords cannot be replaced. Oh, that's interesting. They spend the units in their army in order to reset their skill points. Okay. Just out of curiosity, are we able to do that then? Good for you. To Mackenzie. If we transfer everybody, are you then able to be reset? Oh, then you are able to be reset. Kind of suspicious. There's no bug. I hope that there's no bug from resetting these guys. But yeah, this guy's not using his unique line, and that shall not stand. Reset. Alright, he'll be back in 3 turns. These guys will then sail on out here. Oh. Yeah, okay, we'll need to get out of here anyway. Alright, let's see what we get here in the Godless Crater. We do have a Pyramid of Sotek. We'll keep that. We'll keep the Salt as well. Weapons Crafters Commune. Go for the alignment of monuments. Delete. Yeah, you can keep that. Yeah, keep the Cold One nesting monuments, yada yada yada. There's no need to recruit here because of the red territory. We'll recruit elsewhere. Don't need the Reproductile Hatchery here. Don't need the spawn pools of the Braves. I don't mind the Temple Guard barracks, but we don't have enough room in this particular location to build the other stuff, so Yeah, and we'll keep the Weapons Crafter's Commune and then obviously replace it afterwards. We can also build up the Holy Ziggurat immediately. At least the place is pretty much grown to completion. Isn't it lovely? Anyway, Tiktaq'to, aha! Wait, no, I thought that was Kugath. I got excited. But it wasn't. It was some guy. Damn you, whoever your name is. What do we have here? Still don't see... Okay, in my defense, he does look like Kugath on like, from this distance, right? I mean, it's another Exalted Great Unclean one, so yeah. Alright, you can't reach him. What you can do is go outside of City of Spires in ambush stance. Unless I moved you too far. Okay, beautiful. Go right here. And then hopefully he goes after... Are we actually in range? I can't tell. I think we are. Guess we're about to find out. We will, however, level you up. While we're here, we may as well and get more salt. And then here we will go for the... Yeah, go for the skink favelas. Alrighty. Well, this place will need defenses, but it'll also need to be upgraded before it does. You know what? Let's delete the skink barrios and replace them with a defensive structure instead. And I'll probably have to trade some of these territories in the mountains if we should bother going that far. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. You guys, Tehanoan and Co. You have siege attackers, so you're able to besiege this. I was going to have Washti do... Oh, wait. Yeah, this is a lot of movement. Well, actually, you know what? They'll probably sally out. Right? We could have Tehanoan come in as a reinforcement. I'm just worried about Digga getting killed before the reinforcements get here. Admittedly, it is quite the concern. Do we need the magic that bad is the question, I guess. I'm gonna say no. Let's have Tehanoan besiege. We'll do this. The enemy will absolutely sally out. They got much better units than we do here, and they should absolutely take advantage. You're going to pop on in here. Digga, you are going to reinforce as well. And we will... Did I build the siege equipment? I did. Alright. And then Tehanoan, just trying to get to that rank 12, so you're stuck where you are, but we should level up Digga, and at the very least get you Shield of Thorns, which is fantastic, Regrowth, which is fantastic, and I'm going to say... What do we have here? Enemy wins a magic power reserve. Do they have a caster with them? They do not. Not a Lich High Priest, so no need to do that. I'm gonna say max out Earthblood because you spam it a lot. Shield of Thorns is also amazing. Anyway, Tyrannicon. What do we have in terms of the defenders of the Golden Colossus? Pretty solid, all things considered. You might need to heal for a turn. Or get your other units. We could also get temp units of other types before we move on in, but yeah, just wait here for a bit. I will figure out what to do with you in a second. Ezozyme, you're kind of stuck in the same position because you are... Well, I guess you could start moving towards the Golden Colossus. You just need to heal, so... Channel, and then go near Tyrannicon. And... Oh! You went into enemy territory. Alright. Swap units. These guys for... Okay, these guys. There we go. That way they'll at least heal, and then we'll swap them back next turn. It's a little bit weird, but yeah, that's what I get for not paying attention. Gorok, go after this island here. We do have the Confederation debuff, so we'll have to deal with it. As in, soon fight your battle, but I guess we should do that when we have 2 turns left to counteract it completely. Auto-resolve this, it's gonna hurt these two. Why is it hurting the Reviv crystals? I hate when it hurts the, specifically the support for units. It bothers me. Anyway, Lost Convoy and then Gorok, you just can't reach Remnants of Battle. Oh, but Remnants of Battle is usually not a battle, meaning we can march stance and full speed stance and grab it. And then go on to that reef. Alright, Hall of True Silver, please. Hey, Huan Chi's Blessed Totem. And then go towards Poxmarsh. Lovely. Yeah, I guess we'll grab the reefs, then we'll go back here, then we'll fight the battle, and then we'll go after the Blooded Wanderers. Gotta capture Tlachtlan after all. Alright, Quetgar, what were you doing over here, by the way? Was there something else that we needed to build? Let me just see here. We could build a Star Chamber, I guess. It will be a 1-turn cooldown for the Rite of Awakening if we want more Slan, which I guess in theory we might. Yeah, screw it, why not? Build a Star Chamber and then stay here for another turn to build up the Sacrificial Altar of Sotek. How are the growths? Oh, there's something to be built at Zlatlan as well, isn't there? We don't need the Pyramid Vaults here. In fact, we deleted the previous Pyramid Vaults. We, in theory, would like the Pools of Healing, the Pyramid of Itzel, and the Crimson Pyramid of Sotek. No, the Ziggurat of the Old Ones everywhere. And I guess that's what we want to build then. Alright, start on the Shrine of the Old Ones, and we'll move on in to upgrade it at a higher level next turn. I just want these for more of the spawning sequence per turn. It's pretty valuable. Anyway, Mazda Conqua. Go this way. Tyrannicon is fine, and you are not... Do we suffer another turn of attrition? Or do we... you're barely healing now. You know what, let's, since you're barely healing, move like this for a turn. These guys are looking like they want to defend the Shrine of the Last Smile. Oh, these guys are moving this way? No, you know what, I think we're going to have to move. And suffer attrition, it is what it is. Yeah, free steel tech increase. You don't have anything that reduces attrition, do you? Actually, you probably do, but, we need other stuff. Let's go for Kindle Flame. We definitely want Piercing Bolts, and we do want Blazing Sword of Ruin, so we probably do want to start moving through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we need 6 in order to get Arcane Conduit. Alright, Reserves of Eldritch Energy. And you got that Star Gift guy moving in. Soon-ish. Alright, looks good to me. Tehanoan, you are besieging, and I believe everybody else other than the Tech Thieves are done. So let's do Tech Thievery. Tech Thief 1, Tech Thief 2. This Tech Thief's already thieved, as one does. Beautiful. Just gotta pay attention to them, you know, getting dinos and not paying for those. Anyway, you go up here, Tech Thief. The last one, Steel. And there we are, everybody's successful as well. Do we have any additional capacities for Tech Thieves? I believe we built the thing at Itze, yes? Yes we do, alright. Do we have a lucky guy? Yes we do. You're the lucky one. You get to Steel Tech. And at least they start at tier 5 now, or level 5 now. Meaning we can get that specialist up and running and start into Steel Tech as well. I'm almost tempted to get a second one. We have Blessed by Sotek and we have Sky Master. I prefer Lucky, but I'm disinclined to fish for traits with the Skink Priests, so yeah, let's just do 2. And if we need to get rid of one, we'll get rid of the Sky Master one. Steel Tech. Beautiful. Stealing tech from Korn is gonna feel weird, but you know. Gotta do what you gotta do. Alrighty, let's see. Forest of Mists. You know what? Let's just start upgrading you. It's been bothering me to see it every single turn and not upgrade it. This place. Alright, so first of all, we need the geometric pylons every bloody where, so we'll build that. We do not need the public order building here, or probably even the skink favelas. We can, I guess, start on the Shrine of the Old Ones. One of the other options is to build another one of these. You know what? Let's build another one of these. We have to use the alignments on something, and I like the unit experience reduction. Let's do that. Alright. Now this place will need upgrades. It's not collecting income as yet, but the public order issue means that we're probably not gonna. You will eventually get a Shrine of the Old... let's just build a Shrine of the Old Ones now. More Tech Thieves, after all. Gotta go through that tech tree. Shalanhua Pack, you don't in theory need the Beast Layer, as we are fine there. We can build the Temple of the Mists, even though it's kind of a garbage landmark that doesn't do anything, and build our first Iron. I wish it would at least provide a defensive garrison or something to make it worth more. But oh well. And we're keeping the Sacred Spawning Caverns here because we need somewhere to be able to spawn more of these guys. Yeah. And we'll get rid of the Beast Lair eventually, but now is not that time. In case the Blooded Wanderers start moving in towards attacking us. We gotta go for the Geomantic Pylon here, and... I mean, I guess we're keeping the Sacrificial Altar of Sotek, but I'm disinclined to waste money on upgrading it right now. Sentinel of Time, however, definitely the Old One Monument. Talash. Temporary Saurus Garrison, and I believe that's all the cash we've got. Diplomacy, no need to check because we've already confederated, so we'll end the turn. And let's see about these guys. You know what, let's level up Washti. Actually, what was I going to do for Washti's army? Well, it depends on whether we level you up to be Tlashbok the Thunderer, or you know, rename you. Still, probably a good idea to get Saurus in your army. We could just make you fight it. You know, no, I'm gonna hold on to those points. What about the Saurus Scarvet here instead? Flaming attacks, you have that Blessing of Quetzal, which will help with the Saurus. Could at least get you Foe Seeker. Let's do that. Alright, and training has value. Alright, now we'll end the turn. I assume these guys will attack us. Oh, 25 turns, wow. We'd have to besiege them for a long time, eh? I'm excited for this fight. And, ooh, Rakarth is moving down by the looks of it. I see Brachus in the distance. Yeah, I definitely jumped the gun on declaring war on Rakarth. I should have checked the Confederation. I did not expect it to just suddenly work in the way that it did. Not that it's a bad thing, mind you. I probably could have gotten some money from him by trading him the settlement. Oh, actually, wait, I think... Oh, wow, they didn't sally out. You cowards! Booby traps, sure, but absolute cowardice. Upkeep reduction, nice. And we don't have another one of these, meaning we got to go to a regular thing. Keep going through determining the great plan, I guess. And then we'll go through either the sequence of geomantic healing or possibly the skinks one, which is what I was gonna do. Alright, maybe we'll just leave Tehanawan then. Maybe Washti is too much. I'm actually surprised. I mean, look at all the... they got such a good army. 3 units of Necropolis Knights. They've got the Tomb Scorpion, 2 Shabti, plus summon a blue Shabti, Spectral Stalkers, a Shabti with Great Bow, Bone Giant, Cambrian War Sphinx, and they won't fight this? Come on, game. Oh well, I guess then Awashti is going to move down here. Oh, well, reinforce against these guys. Tyrannicon! Oh, right, you guys have to trade or swap units. Though neither one of you is able to reach the Golden Colossus in one go. Alright. That means you'll stay in camp stance. Izozai move forward. Tyrannicon trade him back his stuff. Hopefully I correctly remember what's going to... Yes, these guys. Alright, perfect. I mean, it'll be perfect once we actually have the units that we want in this army. Also, these guys, the Sora's Spears, they have been with us forever, and I'm not deleting them because I got attached. You shall be... Quetgar's Wanderers. And I figure the reason that we keep them is eventually we will evolve them to Horned ones. Maybe even Blessed Horde ones if I feel like it. I think it'll be nice. Anyway, Tic-Tac, how'd this go? They run away? What the heck? Well, I don't see them anymore. Hopefully they didn't go down here and disappear from sight. Oh, well, I guess we're just sailing away then. Would have preferred to go for the Dragon Fang Mount first, and aha! This guy's gone to the Shattered Stone Bay. And I still don't see Kugath, and it's making me very, very nervous, because he could suddenly appear here, he could suddenly appear down here, and there isn't anything we can do about it, because we don't know where he is. Alright, well, what can you do? Quetgar, reduce the Blood Shrine of Sotek, shrines of Sotek, plural, and then go to Zlatlan. Oh, you can immediately reach Zlatlan in one go. Good for you. Wasn't expecting that. And then next turn you will build these up, and then you will go back the way you came to build the other things up. I don't know whether he's actually, you know, worth it, but he'll eventually have an army once we're ready for it anyway. You, I guess, Washti, are moving down here. And with these guys. And then I assume now they'll sally out. They've got to. Alright, Gorg. And we could have just attacked with all of this stuff in terms of going over the walls, but you know. Anyway, this is a shipwreck. This is a fell cargo. None of them I think we can do, so we'll just go... Try to go somewhere where we... Oh, this is all attrition-y? Okay, never mind. Go right here. Close to it, but where you won't suffer attrition. And we'll grab them all. I don't know whether this army can take this many auto-resolves in succession. But it'll try. Because they're minor battles and it feels like a waste of time, you know? Anyway, you. Okay, severely damaged now. Still unable to reach this place. Alright, that means you will encamp for one turn. Probably could have slowed this army down to make this a little bit more, you know, possible. But all good. We've seen that army do its good work before, and I expect to see it again. Alrighty, anybody else? Okay, you will fight this time around. To Mackenzie, you are sailing out to recruit for Mr. Ashiotla. You are going to go join the fire army. And is that it, other than Tiktaqto and one more tech thief, unless I'm mistaken? Keep looking for Kugath. You found an island, possibly several islands, depending. Oh, right, I did. Ah, there's a Skull Island near the, near this little oil field. There's several islands near the oil field, in fact. Might be worth a quick trip down here with Tiktaqto, especially if we want to loop back around towards these guys. We could go like this and then like that. Bit of a circuitous route, mind, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. I say that a lot. You may have noticed. Anyway. Tech thieves, both of you try to steal from Tlaqua. Hopefully it's possible. As in, the debuff won't screw you over. Success 1 and success 2. Beautiful. It would be nice to have 1,000 research rates so that we could have all of our techs at one turn, but as to whether it's a possibility, we'll just have to wait and see. And I believe that's it. Alright, actually, speaking of research, what are we at? 728. Actually, pretty solid. Alright. Anyway, building. The Godless Crater. We have to go for the Old One Monuments and the Skink Favelas. Here we'll do the Old One Monument. Here we will do the Geomantic Pylon, as well as... I mean, we could do another Old One Monument here. Yeah, considering the horrific public order in these territories is probably necessary. It's a little bit annoying that we have a Shrine of Sotek rather than a ziggurat of the old ones, though. Because the Shrine of Sotek isn't as good, I think, because of the 20% income from all buildings in the place. But it is what it is. I don't think... Oh, well, actually, we could build it in place of the Weapons Crafters Commune. Actually, that means, assuming that we need one spot devoted to one of these temples... Now, we do need one of these Old One monuments as well. Oh, and if we want money, we want the Kroxagor Labor District. Not so sure that we have enough space for all of that. Maybe we can forego the pyramid vaults here. Yeah, let's try it like that then. Skink Favela's here. We will build up the Shrine of the Old Ones, and this will replace with the sort of Tic-Tac Shrine, or whatever those are called. Holy Ziggurat for you. What do we have to be built here? Our first iron. At tier 3, +1 armor, faction-wide. I think it's for infantry, but yeah. Would be nice to get like 10 iron, but I don't think we're gonna find those. Anyway, now we can end the turn, and now they'll sally out, right? Okay, that I was not expecting. And I certainly wasn't expecting Kugath to be the one to lead these guys, but yes, Pyrrhic victory, and yes, very much a fight. Go Tic-Tac. Alrighty, here we go. Should be a great fight that, well, admittedly, I'm a little bit surprised that Kugath... Actually, not a little bit. I'm definitely surprised that Kugath went and attacked us out here. He could have stayed in his settlement, and we would have attacked him anyway with the garrison. Not that I guess the AI is cognizant of that, but if he did, he'd have a much greater chance. Still, this is a pretty darn dangerous army. He's got Chaos Knights, Rock Knights, a Chaos Dragon, Kugath himself, of course, the Soul Grinder of Nurgle here, which we're distracting with our summoned Ripper Dactyls. He's got the Bilious Thunderguff, super tanky giant, several units of Beasts of Nurgle, Flyers, Exalted Plaguebearers, Chosen. Good stuff is basically what I'm getting at. If we had a Nurglite army of this caliber ourselves, it would be a very, very strong force. Definitely a late-game army with all these super elites that they've got. That said, once again, it's a matter of establishing air superiority, and that's what we're working on. The Rotflies are dropping out of the sky. The Chaos Dragon is done for. There is still a Plague-Ridden hovering around up there, but otherwise we're looking pretty okay. Unfortunately, Kugath and the Soul Grinder have defeated the Summoned Ripperdactyls. We're going to try to use the Sky Hunters and the other Pterodon Riders to kill off the Soul Grinder, but by the looks of it, it's taking some effort. I would have sent the Manticuda Riders to deal with them, but they're busy with the Bilious Thunderguff, which is moving directly to Lord Croak, who is occupying the edge of this choke point here. Unfortunately, we do keep that Skink Chief hidden together with Lord Croak to protect him. And Lord Crow can always use a deliverance, even if it's a minor deliverance, to do decent damage to those plague bearers. He's got 49 kills on him. 13,000 damage. I think the enemy has summoned once or twice on top of him, so not super surprising. Anyway, the Bilious Thunderguff is just about done here. Admittedly, it's taken a fair bit of time to bring it down, although the Manticore Riders didn't immediately start attacking him either. And down you go, fella. What the heck was that? The textures, or not the textures, the objects, I suppose, they're going crazy. Anyway, the Soul Grinder is at last just about done. We've been firing at it for 2.5 minutes now. Yeah, I think in retrospect, what I would have done or should have done is have the Manticore Riders kill the Soul Grinder first, because it's a mobile artillery, and then go after the Bilious Thunderguff instead, because it's a considerably slower unit. And another summon on top of Lord Croak. Well, at least the AI is giving Croaky some fights as well. He's got 81 melee attack that he can use against the Forces of Chaos here. And he's going to take a little bit of damage, but he'll rack it up as well. 25,000 damage just against these summons. Admittedly, it's a little bit inflated just by virtue of the fact that the Plague Bearers have a lot of HP on them. Although admittedly being able to summon them is quite nice considering they're otherwise very slow units, and like this are able to quickly close the distance and actually fight. Though not for much longer by the looks of it. In fact, not for much longer for any of Kugath's army. We've got the battle which will be decided here as our melee blobs, the Ripperdactyls, the Coatl, the Ancient Ripperdactyls, and Tiktaq'to himself fighting the main enemy line. Rot Knights, Beasts of Nurgle, and Chosen, with of course little Nurglings running around in the background and Plague Bearers providing support. Their elite melee versus our elite melee. Oh, and even the the Plague-ridden touchdown. Kugath we're by and large ignoring. He's, well, not always, but oftentimes I find it's just generally better to ignore him because he has so much HP, he has so much healing, regenerative capabilities, that you need so many resources to bring him down that you're just better off dealing with everybody else. Although, admittedly, if the Manticore Riders and the Pterodon Riders had all focused him from the start, he would have been long dead by now. But they had other things to deal with. Now they're firing at him, and he relatively rapidly, yeah, look at those volleys, starts losing his HP. Although, by the looks of it, he's beginning to melt away as well, and that's probably helping out. The last of the enemy units are done for and begin melting as well, and only Kugath remains in the fight. Down to about 30% of his HP, and actually, by the looks of it, either moved or pushed into the forest, where even his range capabilities are not going to be all that great. Oh! I just saw a couple of pterodons drop out of the sky. That's so rude. Oh, there's some more here. Tremendously rude. But oh well. Too bad for him. He gets brought down, and with that, the victory is ours, and, well, I don't know whether his faction is broken, in that while we've defeated 2 armies, there may very well be more. It's a significantly weaker Poxmakers that we have to face off against now. Alrighty, there we go. I gotta say I am very pleasantly surprised by this turn of events, even though it was very much an error for Kugath to attempt to attack us. But, well, error and an error. Perhaps he shouldn't be called Kugath, he should be called Kugaff. Gaff, like mistake, you know what I mean. Anyway, Oh, just amusing myself. Yeah, he got wrecked. He got wrecked, but he did do damage, and both Krasis and Scourge of the Skies took a fair bit of damage, though dealt out both damage and damage dealt as gold value, and decent numbers. And let's see what we got. 20k on one of the other Coatl, 20 and 22k on the Manticore Riders, who brought down many a key critical enemy big boy, like that Bilious Thunderguff, and helped out against Kugath and Kugath, and did plenty of other work as well. Very, very nice. And Tiktaq'to and 19k. I like that most of the units in this arm are effectively sort of dishing out similar damage to each other. Of course, with the weakest units, the regular Pterodon Riders with javelins doing the least, but you know, you gotta keep some weaker units like the Pterodon Riders and the regular Ripperdactyls in, or else it's not as fun. We're taking the money because we've no real choice in the matter. And I guess we'll hunt Kugath down. I wonder if he has any other armies running around. Oh, I also wonder whether we've gotten close enough to Imric to, you know, get sight of his faction. I'd like to do a little bit of an alliance with him after all. I'm glad we've got the Dragon Isles in Kugath's hands, though, because I'd prefer that to Imric. And yes, now they're willing to sally out and attack us, and valiant defeat casualties. Hi. Maybe it was overvaluing the other units. Well, we've got our work cut out for us. I don't even know if this army will be strong enough without the level 12 that Tehenwan gives them to win, but on the bright side, we can back off if we don't, so we're just going to have to do the best we can. Away. Alrighty, here we go. Man, holding up the plaque of Sotek while on Ripperdactyl back must be such an issue. Especially since he's doing it one-handed. I don't know, it doesn't look like he has a very strong grip on the thing. And imagine the Ripperdactyl like flying around and attacking and such while you're trying to do this. It's probably not nearly as bad as trying to cast a spell while on the back of Frostworm like Serena Catherine, but still an issue, I'm sure. Anyway, here we go. The enemy pile of Tomb Kings were too cowardly to attack us with this frankly great force when we had a few reinforcements, and now we're just going to have to face off against all those constructs with Tehenwan and his red-crested skinks. Luckily for us, we do have a Slan Mage Priest of Life, so that in combination with the Basties with the Reviv Crystal should mean we have a lot more staying power with the red crests than we otherwise might. Now we start the battle deployed basically in this tree line, as it's really the only major force that we have on our side of the map, with the idea that the enemy will move towards us, but more importantly, the trees will protect us from fire from the several units, 3 units of Ushabti with Great Bow and that Bone Giant as well, as otherwise, you know, they could rack up a massive amount of kills on our poor units. We also do have the Sauropod Riders, which we deployed over on this side of the map and hidden in the tree line, with the idea of smashing into the back line of the enemy. Oh, they're so cute and tiny. Yeah, smashing into the back line when they eventually get to them. At 65 movement speed, they're obviously not as fast as some of the other units that we have, that we've been using for the same purpose, like the Kulkan and the Archaeopteryx. But it's obviously a slightly different sort of unit, so makes sense. Anyway, looks like the enemy is firing away at us and is drawn now relatively close to the tree line, so it's time to leave the trees and go on the attack, especially since those Ushabti have drawn close. Here come the mobs of red crests. Looks like the enemy will use the Legionary Barrage, but it looks like it only clips us as we rush through most of it. And away we go. The cohort of Sotek will increase their speed and charge towards the first of the Ushabti with Great Bow to try to engage them. They will, of course, attempt to back off and behind the regular Ushabti with Twin Blades. Here comes a Khemrian War Sphinx together with some Necropolis Knights with Halberds attempting to take on and take out probably one of our Basties with Reviv Crystals, which is an absolutely critical unit to hold here. And we're going to counter the sort of first elements of the battle, first moments of the battle, with a nice use of the Shield of Thorns on all of our units, and try to protect our units a little bit and get that damage reflection going to try to knock out as many of those Tomb Guard as we can. Otherwise, we've closed the distance with several of the enemy range units, in fact most of the enemy range units, including that Bone Giant, which we've seen the Ripperdactyls tear through before, and will do so in the same manner again. Over in the back line, unfortunately, it looks like one of the Spokal Stalkers did peel away to block 2 of our units of Sauropods. The anti-large halberds of the sort of hybrid role of the Spokal Stalkers will mean that they probably should be able to tear through the Sauropods reasonably well, and are probably not in too much danger. Looks like every attack only deals like 15 damage or something to them. It's really not that much. And these guys don't have too crazy weapon strength, nor do they have too crazy damage. Their riders, I believe, are sort of range-centric units, but we'll have to see how they look. Oh, wow. Armor is also pretty darn low. Yeah, they're getting absolutely obliterated by the Spokal Stalkers, but that's just those two. The others have managed to smash into the back line of the enemy, and it looks like one of them has now peeled away to join in. And this also allows them to close in, or close together with both the slams, so a Life Bloom and Earthblood, and the Reviv Crystals as well. Huh. Actually, one thing I didn't check was whether the Ceropods... Okay, yeah, they do. I was worried that they weren't registered as Lizardmen by the game, and thus didn't get the Reviv Crystal thing going, but it's looking like it's working. Anyway, that Cameron War Sphinx has been annoying us for a while, so Tehenaman has moved in to fight him. In fact, he's been doing that for a while now. Pretty good use for him. He doesn't have his ancient Stegodon with Engine of the Gods as yet, but is still more than strong enough on Ripperdactyl back to hold off a Hemrian War Sphinx, especially as it's a War Sphinx and not a Necro Sphinx. Otherwise, shields of thorns and heals keep coming down on us, and I suppose on the enemy as well via the Realm of Souls. I do believe they either have or are about to summon their Ushabti. And again, I see that with tremendous jealousy, just being unable to summon Ushabti myself in my Cetra campaign. Suffering from success, I suppose, in that regard. But oh well. On the bright side, though, it looks like the bounce power has shifted to about 70% in our favor, and our main mob has moved towards the Necropolis Knights and Spokal Stalkers, which had otherwise destroyed a few of those poor Ceropods. The Ripperdactyls have, this time, actually lost against the Bone Giant. I wonder why. But at the very least, they prevented it from firing off of those high damage shots through the entire battle, which is just fine. And they have certainly served their purpose. And they did heavy damage to it as well. The War Sphinx versus Tehenaman is still happening, and the War Sphinx is down to about 40% of its HP, while Tehenaman's only lost about 15% of his. Snakes, of course, below all the Arcs of Sotek helping out. Confused Asaph noises. Alrighty, and the bounce power shifts to about 90% in our favor now, and with that, the enemy begins to melt away. Only a little bit more work, and the Tomb Kings will fail in their last attack. And the battle will be ours. And of course, the longer they take to melt away, the more time we have to drop off a few extra heals. Alrighty, beautiful. Just one last unit of Necropolis Knights and that Hemrian War Sphinx. Admittedly, it's been on field for a long time now, but being kept busy worked out. And because it couldn't, sort of bound through the ranks of the fragile Red Crests. Especially as we don't yet have rank 12 for the Red Crests to be powered up by Tehenaman. Not that it mattered that much here, since we have all that healing. Anyway, the Hemrian War Sphinx will be the last unit on field, hardly surprising. The Slan himself will move towards it. Yeah, Slan are pretty big. Since you keep them away from the fighting most of the time, you kind of don't notice it as much, but when it moves towards the Hemrian War Sphinx, you see just how big they are. Floating probably helps as well. Alright, last couple of hits from the War Sphinx and it will be brought down. But I imagine we won't see it fall because the battle will end without showing the destruction animation. On the right side, a nice heroic victory for Tehenaman. Alright, there we go. We certainly managed to pull that off pretty darn well. The combination of the Life Slan with all that healing plus the Reviv Crystals makes it pretty darn insanely effective. Tehenaman spent most of his battle distracting that Hemrian War Sphinx, and their Ceropods did take the long way around, so they didn't do as much damage as they otherwise might have, but all good. We'll still eventually get them to be riders probably pretty soon, since they'll need tier 4, unlike the tier 5 for the turtles. Very, very nice. Occupy. And so this faction should be destroyed unless I'm mistaken. A new regional power at the northern provinces. Oh, good job, AI. Always impressed. And Wood Elves. This is a little... Oh, the little Wood Elf faction from the fight. Yeah, sure. Give us money and then go away. Just so that they don't go to one of our territories. Intervene again. +2 specimens. Usually can't say no to those. Can we out-resolve this? Huh. It's an ambush, meaning we could obliterate them. And we will obliterate them. Though 2 Grail Knights and 2 Grail Guardians is scary. That's a lot of peasants, so we just really have to focus down the cav, and they'll be good. But I guess that's generally true for fights against Bretonnia. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Encountering those Grail Knights and Guardians has given us some grief in the past when our expeditions have encountered them, but things have changed. This time, all of our Chameleon Stalkers, our Ripperdactyls, our Coatl, our Skink Oracle, and all of our Croxagors are deployed to attack all those Grail Knights and Guardians, directly rushing them from all sides at once, and trying to do as much alpha damage to them as possible. By and large, it means ignoring all the peasants, with the exception of the front line, where we have our units of Saurus, and just holding them back. The main lord is the enemy lord. The prophetess is already dead, as it was assassinated by Tiktaqto, who will now be attempting to focus down the enemy paladin, currently in a fight or in a duel with the Saurus Scarvet. But the expedition chief isn't going to allow this to continue. And the Paladin is a critical enemy to destroy. If it wasn't for the fact that we needed to assassinate the Prophetess, I would have put Tiktaqto down to help against the Grail Knights and Guardians as well. But it looks like it wasn't needed, as we devoted most of our forces to destroy them. The Grail Knights here are running away, or one unit is running away. I believe a second unit is moving towards the front of the column, while the Grail Guardians, unbreakable, are being just mobbed by everything. And just torn to shreds instead. Of course, they did do some damage back to us, but this worked out a lot better. Certainly a very different strategy than we did when we were forced to sort of lead them into the woods or into the jungle so that we could thereby trap and destroy them. Though that was pretty neat as well. Again, getting some really neat battles against the anti-expedition armies. Alright, of course, now the enemy army is broken and only the remnants of the Grail Guardians, and that not much, remain, and of course the Battle Pilgrims that remain at the head of the column still fighting the Saurus, unbreakable as they are. And their bodies will litter the battlefield in the same way as the Grail Guardians or Grail Knights that they worship. Alright, isn't that beautiful? Just a few more of those Battle Pilgrims to work through. Admittedly, our Saurus Scarvet did take a fair bit of damage fighting or dueling that Paladin and fighting the Battle Pilgrims at once. But now the rest of our units have closed to sort of destroy what remains. And how are the Saurus doing, by the way? Pretty okay. Again, this army has the hunger, so we're not super worried about that, and all Saurus having the hunger means that they can hold the line, basically as if they had Reviv crystals, which we otherwise don't have in this army. Which is quite nice. Also really nice for the Uranon Serpent, as it's otherwise fairly fragile with only 10,000 HP. And gives us more opportunity to make use of that Mortis Engine effect that it has in this army. Anyway, with that, the last of the Battle Pilgrims fall and the battle is ours, and we're going to make sure to chase down all the remaining peasants of that run. And there we go. Very, very nice fight. I really enjoyed that one against the Bretonnians, and unfortunately for them, our strategy of devoting like 80% of our damage resources to killing off all those Grail Guardians and Grail Knights paid off completely, as once they were gone, the enemy had no chance whatsoever. We're not so hurt that I think we need to heal up, so we'll take the money. And I wonder if this fella has leveled up. And now, the chance of plague spreading faction-wide reduction is also nice on Tiktaq'to. And the new regional power, we saw that Steg for Irek Kadan. Who is Irek Kadan? Which army are you in? You are in this army. Yeah, that's fine. keep the stag, at least for now. Spinosotek secured as well as we destroy this little faction. And hey, there's Rakarth and called Tlaqua coming down. Alignment to monuments, and ooh. There's a public order outskirts of conquest. Huh, I thought that the conquest would disappear because we did that between the turns, but apparently not. Anyway, we don't need the defenses here now at Thrice Cursed Peak. And, well, I guess we keep the defenses up here because we need to still deal with the Blooded Wanderers. Anyway, what I wanted to check was you. 4 more turns, but you've also leveled. Twice, mind you. We could start moving towards Head of the Snake. I do like the idea of Snipe and Unspottable for Stalkers and for Skinks. On the other hand, I mean, 15 by 10% is also not that big, so... we should also probably buff up the actual Skinks via going through Skirmisher, but yeah, I guess we're going to go for Downtime and Adaptive Camouflage. Mostly because Paleontologist doesn't seem to be useful to this particular army type, as we don't really have other units. They don't really have units that could benefit from it. And we'll obviously still go through the blue line completely. We got a lot more of these expeditions to go after all, but we'll have to wait until next time because we're out of time, and once again, I'm going to be calling the episode here. Next time we'll try to wipe out the Dread of Calabad and get that fire army getting a nice fight with them. We're looking to take the Dragon Isles, and we're looking to both separate these forces and get a few more armies up and running. I know it looks like we have a lot of force concentration here, but it's not just Rakarth and the Blooded Wanderers we have to deal with. I would like to send somebody down here and then through the sea lane, probably another army through this little pathway all the way to the this side, so that we can have 2 armies maybe meet up at the same time and start going through these territories up here. Yeah, I think that'll work out nicely. And we got a lot more units to play around with, so all good. Stay tuned for more Tiktaq'to. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.